do I have to go in?
Because we're getting ready to do some work. Oh, don't touch that. There you go. Sitting with Brother Darnell Masterson, we're talking today about alternatives that people sometimes don't see, alternative ways to make a living, not just to survive in the community, to thrive. Brother, you've been through a lot of different things, and you work your way through some stuff. Why don't you tell me just a little bit about where you started in your thinking and where you've evolved to as far as a method for making it.
Well, I grew up in Chapel Oaks, so I'm an 80s baby, it was like the big boom, during the crack era, in Fort Wayne and things like that. And I guess I was just more of a product of my environment, just growing up through the struggle, of everybody around me, and just getting immune to and adapting to the environment, and just not knowing true leadership, knowing family bond and things like that. I actually grew up with a village. My auntie was like my mama, my grandma was like my mama, and things like that. But as far as the male figures, it wasn't that dominant support to stir us in the right direction. So as time just grew on and things like that, I just became the age and just had to find out a way to figure out a structure to work for myself and stay independent and be diverse. So that's what just led me to who I am today.
When we talk about being diverse, in other words, what you're saying is that you found some alternatives. You may have come out of a particular environment, had to work your way through that environment, but you found out there were other options.
Yes. Actually, after I just been through the struggle of just learning life period, and just like the first phase was just school, and knowing it was a struggle and harder as an opportunity for me to catch up with a lot of other students and things like that. It wasn't because of my learning disability. It was just because of my lack of ability to put things first. So basically, once school became a pattern for that, I started to struggle. But then I got off into the prison systems and stuff too, so I started to struggle with who I was as a person. So that's what just kind of led to a little diversity in my life to make me understand that life was just more serious than going to work or just going to school.
Okay. When you said it was more serious, and you went through the things that showed that. So obviously there was a lesson that sent you in different directions from a lot of people. What was the turning point for you?
A turning point for me was when I started losing a lot of my loved ones. It wasn't just to crime, it was just period. The ones who inspired me to be who I am today, I started losing them. I started losing them in a lot of different aspects, and I even lost a lot of them to violence, So once I started seeing my elders started disappearing from me, and I knew one day I would have to play their position. And as far as the leadership that my peers, try to grow us up to have and things like that, now it's time for me to, carry that torch. So through the struggles of trying to be them, in a sense of be my roots, I had to just be determined about changing myself and to put myself in certain situations so I can fulfill those goals.
Well, and when you're talking about leadership and fulfilling a leadership role, and you and I have had some past conversations. We don't need to get that in depth on them, but there's some qualities of leadership that have to be there. There's some that have been lacking. But what is the primary quality that you try to exhibit, knowing that you got to step up and take some responsibility in the community?
Actually, I try. Actually, and that's a thing that a lot of people deal with morally, is dealing with responsibility in communities and things like that. But the responsibility that I feel I need to take is to be serious. Don't sugarcoat for anybody, especially if we're trying to get things on the right path. I can't say, well, this is my buddy and he doing this, and knock the person that I don't know. We have to be full force and full throttle on every situation, just like you're a CEO of your company. Would you like to see your company fall by favoritism, or would you like to see it succeed by tough love? You know, and I feel like that's what make all communities, all neighborhoods, all business, um, better and put a better impact on people. So my ultimate goal in facing responsibilities in my community is being honest with everybody, being up forward with everybody, and being serious about everything that I do.
And it's interesting, you talk about being honest. Um, how would you grade us as a community as far as being honest about who we are and where we're at and what we need to do?
To be honest, I kind of grade us as a D and not a straight F, because no matter what we go through, we're not failures. And I feel like this thing is not just psychologically set up for us to be who we are, but I think that it's a determination of what we want out of our own lives. So I feel like I rank us as a D, because I can't, like I said, I can't go to F, but I can't go to C because there's too many big organizations out here that's not portioned to try. They portion for funds, they portion for money, but they're not pushing for mental health issues and um, better goals that the young man or families can build, together as a community.
And obviously, man, you're a very practical man, and we at a D. And I'm not gonna say what's going to take us to get to A, because before we get to A, we got to work on that C.
True.
Where's a good place for us to start? All of us, something we can do to at least get to the C level next.
And I'm gonna go with this situation to step us up on the C level is to go with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and their issues. They both disagreed with each other perspectives of the movements that they was doing, but they both supported each other in the movements because they said why? Because it's a struggle that we both trying to get out of. It's a challenge that we both have to face no matter how we do it. It's getting done. So that's my most important thing. I mean, I feel like it shouldn't only be about race. It should have a cultural effect on people. You should understand people culture. When you walk into an Asian store or any type of store, you should have some type of greeting in your heart where you can translate to their language to even say hi or bye to them, because it's not fair for them have to come in this diverse country and have to force to learn everything that we know, but we don't have to learn anything about them. And I think that's what put up the borders towards communication.
So when you say diverse, you talking for real. You're not just talking about assimilating. You're saying that basically we all got other things that we can share that can be beneficial, mutually beneficial.
I mean, just like American traditions. A lot of people, they like ramen noodles. A lot of people like chicken. I mean, just from the holidays, from 4th of July and everything else. Those things are diverse. Even Christmas, when we talk about Germanic, so those things are very diverse that make us who we are today. So why can't we look at that in not only in a religious perspective, but in a cultural perspective, to say basically no matter who you are, we celebrate these traditions. So basically it shouldn't be no problem with you celebrating a tradition, not celebrating a tradition, but more in acknowledging people for their cultural lifestyle and things that they take in consideration of their own lives.
So sounds like what you're also saying is you talking about going beyond race to claim our humanity, our collective humanity.
Yes, true enough, because you watch like Hidden Colors and a lot of other things, and people say, well, we the Egyptians or we the Asians, and we this and we that. I mean, not knocking anybody for thinking that way, because our roots go a long way in life. But the thing is, we can't so-called claim something, if we don't know the language, we don't know the culture, we just don't know the foods, we don't know the traditions at all. I feel like if we take acknowledgement to say, well, we are those people, or we created those people, then then we as the mass should go back to understand those people, culture and religions and things like that, so we can claim to say we are those people or we created those people. And everybody would get back to saying we all won from our perspective. If